Sylvia Scott, the founder and CEO of the Girls CEO Connection, as well as the Colorado Ambassador for Women's Entrepreneurship Day, which we'll be celebrating in Denver this year at CU Denver School of Business, Jake Jabs Entrepreneurship Center on November 10th. And I have with me today Olivia Omega, who represents the Denver Scholarship Foundation, who was a sponsor last year. She's a 501c3 public charity whose mission is to inspire and empower Denver public school students to achieve their college goals through college access, promise-based scholarships, and college access. And I understand they up and beyond that, but Olivia will tell us about that. Olivia is currently their Senior Director of Marketing and Communication. She also serves as an advisory council member and the Entrepreneur in Residence for the Jake Jabs Center for Entrepreneurship. She's the founder track chair for Denver Startup Week. She's co-founder of Wallace Marketing Group. And half of her career was spent with advertising, with an advertising agency side. And then after that, as an entrepreneur and small business owner. She's a personal brand expert. I've written a book about it, The Girl's Guide to Understanding the Anatomy of Brand You. But what I like I like everything about Olivia. I've known her for a long time. She has a deep passion for encouraging and inspiring high school and college students in the area of leadership and business, as well as championing nonprofit projects and missions that elevate underrepresented communities. So, Olivia, it's great to see you.
It's good to see you too, Sylvia. Thanks for having me.
Great, yes. I'm excited about this. I've wanted to do this for a long time. So now, tell me, what prompted you to join the team at the Denver Scholarship Foundation?
I had been going through some personal and career shifts. This was prior to COVID, or actually during COVID. Knowing that my kids were getting older. I have 2 kids in DPS right now and a college student. And so my oldest was going off to college. Some things were just shifting in my life. I had, as many of us experienced, loss in and around 2020. I stood back to reevaluate what I was doing with my career. And in the past, as you mentioned, I had run my own advertising agency, worked a lot with small businesses, and still work with entrepreneurs to this day. But I wanted to increase my impact, and I wanted to tie together a lot of the volunteer work that I've been doing for 15 years. I've been coaching, speaking, mentoring at various universities, specifically CU Boulder, and just have a heart and a love for high school students and college students. So when this opportunity at Denver Scholarship Foundation came up, it was a perfect opportunity for me to tie in and blend in together my professional experience of branding, marketing, and communications, and my personal love for encouraging and mentoring college students.
Right. And you've done a great job with your own daughter.
Thank you.
She's wonderful. And your next one is a senior in high school, right?
Yeah, I have 2 seniors in high school right now.
Yeah.
And a junior in college. So yeah, they're
And I hate to say she's a junior in college.
I know.
I know her way back before then. So what is your role as a Senior Director of Marketing and Communication for DSF? Because you're really busy with that. And then Denver Startup Week, Women's Entrepreneurship Day.
Right.
Kids.
So at DSF, I oversee the marketing and communications department. We are a team of 5. And we have a graphic designer, we have a marketing coordinator that is very specifically focused on translating our materials into Spanish. We have a large population of our scholars and our students' families are Spanish speaking. We have a marketing manager, and then we also just brought on a PR specialist as well. And what we do is we pretty much touch every single aspect of the organization, whether it be communicating from a donor perspective with regard to our appeals and our fundraisers, to communicating to high school students to encourage them to apply for the scholarship. And then once they become DSF scholars, we work with them as well as creating marketing materials for our 31 college partners throughout Colorado. So our ultimate goal is to support them in the schools. We have DSF Future Centers inside DPS high schools. and college advisors that work with our students one-on-one there to expose them just to the idea that college is possible, help them apply, help them enroll, help them do all the financial aid steps. We provide the scholarships, as you mentioned, and then once they get to a Colorado college, we have supports there to make sure they actually graduate and head into a career of their choosing.
Right. So does it make any difference what they're majoring in when, when they're apply for the scholarship and they go on to college? Does it make a difference what they're majoring in?
It doesn't. And actually, when we use the term college, we really mean anything post high school from an educational standpoint. So that could be if a student, and my son is actually doing this right now, going to Emily Griffith and getting a certificate in something that they're really interested in, whether they're getting their 2-year associate or going to get a bachelor's. In any of those scenarios, we help them to pay for that.
What is the Future Center? Because I understand that you've got them in 15 Denver metro high schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do the students and parents learn about them? Because some of the schools are so big, it's hard to tell, like East High School, some of the others are so big as to really what the Future Center is about and what they need, how they need, or what they need to do to get involved with it.
Right. The Denver Scholarship Foundation Future Centers are really a main staple within the high schools that we serve. So anytime they would go to, for example, last week, a lot of our high schools had student registration or check-in, and the Future Center, DSF Future Center, had a table along with the other tables and resources. Most of the time, our Future Centers are either physically connected to the counseling center or connected and linked some way. So it's pretty hard for a student to get to a high school and through the high school without them hearing about the Future Center. But we do a lot of outreach to the students. And another thing that's really great about the programming we do is we work with 9th through 12th graders. So instead of waiting until the student is like my son and daughter headed into their senior year to connect with them, we start those connections in 9th grade so that they are starting to think about what they want to do, thinking about those opportunities. And so they hear a lot from us throughout the years while they're in a DPS high school.
So it doesn't make any difference though what their grades are. I mean, it could be like everybody's looking for scholarships.
Everyone's looking for scholarships. We support every single student. Our scholarship, you do have to have a minimum GPA, and it's fairly reasonable.
Right.
We're not expecting people to be all A students or even all B students. C is passing. And so they do just have to have a lower minimum GPA to get the scholarship.
Now, I understand that DSF has a nationally recognized 3-part program consisting of evidence-based support system, actionable tools, and then scholarships. And how does that work?
So it works, as I said, we have that first part of the 3-part program is in the high school. So really connecting with 9th through 12th graders, helping them to see that college is possible first. Over 80% of our scholars are first generation, so they don't have parents that have gone through this process before. 90% of our scholars are students of color, and then 100% are financially need-based. So we're helping them through high school. That's part 1. Part 2 is the scholarship that we give. And we have seen, and there's data behind, if we were to help break down the financial barriers to post-secondary income, that these students will go, they will attend, they will be successful with support. Our third part is the support within the college itself. So we know that just giving money to students and getting them to college isn't where the work ends, but making sure that they have the support, the guidance, the tools, and the resources to make sure that they actually complete and graduate.
So is anyone else doing anything like this? Any other school system in Colorado?
That's a great question. There are very few school systems that have the 3 parts that we have and that do it on the scale that we are able to do this. And so we give away 2,000 scholarships a year, $6 million a year. There is one other in Chicago that has a similar program that we've actually partnered with. And we are open to sharing our model with anyone and everyone so that we can help increase these college enrollment and completion rates across the country.
I'm curious, students of color could be Native American, Asian, or the Caribbean, African American. So that doesn't make any. I'm curious about the Native American aspects. Is there much in the Denver area?
There's some, I don't have the breakdown memorized, but just to clarify too, our scholarship isn't, there is not a requirement there as far as race or ethnicity. It just so happens that 91% of our scholars identify as students of color, but we have students that don't identify as a student of color as well.
How do the parents play into this if they've never gone to college? How do you work with the parents on that side of it?
That is a really great question. So there are two things that we specifically do to make sure that parents are involved in this process as much as possible. We have a parent and family engagement committee that does outreach specifically to parents. We do phone calls and reach out in as many ways as we can to understand the parents' need, to understand their concerns, and also just to let them know, because they may have not gone to college themselves doesn't mean that they don't have anything to offer their student. And so on our website, we have an entire page that gives them tips and resources specifically for those parents. And as I mentioned too, we have a dedicated staff to translate our materials so that those parents who are Spanish speaking can be more involved in the process of getting their student to and through college.
And is there success with it? How does that play out?
You know what's so interesting is I think, and me as a parent, I'm involved with my kids. Right. And so I would want other parents to be involved as well. But we also have to remember that every family is different and every dynamic is different. A lot of students want the autonomy to be able to navigate this, to make some, kind of adulting grown-up decisions. And a lot of parents are okay with allowing them to do that. So when we did our survey with parents, we did phone calls, both in English and Spanish. We heard a lot that a lot of the parents weren't involved at all in the decision-making process of their children deciding to go to school, where to enroll, financial aid, et cetera, et cetera. So what we want to do is be the resource to provide to them so that if they want to be involved and they want to work together, they have the tools to do so. But, who are we to say that that has to be the case? And there is definitely a little bit of pride and independence and excitement around a lot of these students navigating this along with their DSF college advisor.
I mean, that's really, doing it on your own, starting off right on your own. What about the grad, okay, you've got kids going into undergraduate. How do you see them going into graduate school or graduate programs? Maybe not maybe not like an MBA, but, CU Denver opened up a master's of science for business. But how do you see it? I mean, are you to follow them through with if they want to go on to graduate school?
We see a lot of our scholars go on to graduate school. I think one thing that we always have to focus on and remember is that 91.4% of jobs here in Colorado that pay a family wage. So this is just the ability to raise a family of 3 with the most bare minimum of food, shelter, et cetera, require education after high school. And so that's our mission, that's our focus, because we know if we can get them to that next place, the certificate, the apprenticeship, the bachelor associate, then they will unlock opportunities for additional things such as grad school. So while we do have a really great and growing alumni network that keeps track of our scholars and where they're doing and where they're going, where they're continuing their education, our mission really is focused on that first step to get them to one level so that they have the opportunity then to go to grad school.
And so that they get through that one level.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's our goal.
Yeah. Okay. So how can I read on the website that companies can sponsor the Future Center. How does that work?
if you go to the website, there's a link at the very top. It says get involved, and that has a lot of different opportunities for people to donate money, to, like you said, sponsor, um, attend our gala, which is coming up every year in October. Sponsoring a future center means that you are going above and beyond to help to contribute to the cost of running a future center, the resources that it takes. And then that company has access to just supporting the students at that high school. So all of that information is on our website, and we have a really great corporate relations coordinator that helps to talk through the opportunities there and the benefit to the corporation.
Oh, great. So what else would you like to add about the Denver Scholarship Foundation?
I'll add that every year our scholarship opens up on February 1st, which is going to be here before you know it. And we also do a lot of workshops within the Denver Public Schools and other community partners in the fall. So again, coming up here really quickly on financial aid, there's a lot of changes happening that nobody is really aware of. We're kind of learning them as they come, but a lot of changes happening with the FAFSA. So parents that are used to filling it out one way are going to want to stay tuned to our website, where we start to post updates, as well as attend financial aid workshops where we talk about those changes and help our students and their parents literally step-by-step walk through that application process.
And what else would you like to add? I'm sure
That's it.
That's it?
Well, our website is denverscholarship.org.
Okay, well, thank you, Olivia.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yes, and I will put everything on this website, on the information board, on the YouTube, as to how people can get in touch with the Denver Scholarship Foundation.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll
Thank you
talk to you
so
later.
much.